So there I was, whiskey highball in hand. I'm in Japan, by the way, watching the Google Pixel 4 event unfold in New York City. Now, I just wanted to preface that real quick because I'm not in New York, I'm in a whole different country, so I don't even have the Pixel 4 on me, I haven't even touched it, and I was not at the event. So a lot of what you're going to be seeing in this video is just reactions based upon what I saw in the live stream and also what I've been hearing from a few of the fellow tech YouTubers who were at the event. And also the footage that you're seeing of the phones have been graciously provided to me by my good friends Jaime Rivera and David Imel. You'll see their credits in the corner, but also don't forget to follow them by following the links in the description. And also one more thing I have to say, I'm not going to be talking a whole lot about the Google Assistant features and also Motion Sense, mainly because I actually don't really have any complaints about those, and I'm a big fan of the Google Assistant to begin with, so it's not like I was going to find anything at fault with those based upon the live streamed event. But in any case, let's go ahead and get started with this top 5 complaints video. Now, usually these videos, they work in the sense that I see other people talking about these features, but in this video, you might actually be hearing some of my actual thoughts as I watched everything unfold via the live stream. Let's first talk about that design. There are some very polarizing thoughts on this design. Solid colors are a departure from the gradients that we've seen recently, but you have 3 main colors here. Just black, clearly white, and the orange. I'm all for simple design, and the solid colors are a nice change of pace from all the phones that we've been seeing recently, but to be honest, this is one of those moments where you look at it and you either love it or you hate it. The girlfriend Isa Rodriguez over here actually really dislikes these phones.
I hate it!
But as far as the sizes go, I am on that whole kick of smaller phones are better, especially in terms of handling and ergonomics. So you do get the Pixel 4 and the Pixel 4 XL with some obvious changes in what you get depending on what size phone you have. Now in my case, I'm actually holding and using the Pixel 3a right now just as a bit of a retrospective as the Pixel 4 is on its way. I'm not going to get it until after I get home, of course, from Japan, so this is what I have right now. And I gotta say, with this Pixel 3a, the smaller one, this is definitely the most comfortable way for me to use a smartphone these days. But if I get the smaller one, I also get, I guess, what you can call smaller or lower specs. So for one thing, despite the fact that Pokemon has been represented a lot in the Pixel line, this is not really a gaming device. So you're not getting the Snapdragon 855 Plus, you still get the 855, which is more than enough for most gaming, but you're also not going to get those cooling features and different boosts that you might get in other flagship phones. And that actually makes a little bit of sense because Google Stadia is a thing, so it's less about the raw power of the phone in your hand and more about pulling all of that fun down from the cloud. Come November 19th, that's basically what Google will say is gaming on a phone now. But you know what, for a phone that's supposed to be very camera forward and camera heavy, the storage options do obviously leave a bit to be desired. But obviously it's probably going to be the batteries that take the most hit. The reason why is because with the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3 XL, there wasn't a whole lot to say about good battery life. As a matter of fact, most people thought that they were getting subpar battery life. That changed a little bit with the Pixel 3a, though we're not too sure if that's going to be the case for the Pixel 4. So on account of me wanting this smaller phone, I'm probably going to have more problems with the battery life. But alright, let's talk about it. Let's talk about that camera. Where the hell is the wide-angle lens? I need to preface this once again. I've had the Pixel 3a, and you might have seen one of my videos not too long ago where I was using clip-on lenses to get wide and zoom looks because these phones, all the way up until the Pixel 4, only had one lens on the back. Now, that's perfectly fine. They've been able to make that work for quite a while now, and with those clip-on lenses, I don't have that much of a problem getting what I want. But now that they've added a telephoto lens onto there, Google is the only company that seems to not be prioritizing and is actually actively moving away from the wide angle that most people seem to enjoy. Even the second lens on the iPhone 11 of all things is a wide-angle lens. So it kind of baffles me that Google's the only company that is actively trying not to have it. And this is something that I'm really reacting to because on stage they actually said this.
So while wide-angle can be fun, we think telephoto is more important.
Even though I'm getting into the telephoto lens and Google's enhancements are helping the 2x optical zoom become even more of a zoom with their super high-res photos, well, it's nice to see that Google's putting some effort into that, but then with the wide-angle stuff, they're not even trying at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited to try everything that Google has added into these cameras. The dual exposure is something I can't wait to try out, get some really dramatic photos, being able to do split toning live in the camera app, that's something I'm really excited for. And it's probably going to up the Instagram stills game. But I'm talking about stills here, and that leads me to my other actual personal complaint, and that is the lack of video as a priority. The video maker in me is actually really miffed right now because I like the Pixel camera for video and vlogging. The controls on Pixel cameras tend to be really simple, and locking the autofocus and the auto exposure is really easy in those apps, so it's pretty easy for me to get some video for IG stories and even some casual B-roll for vlogs done. But while other manufacturers are trying to make the priority of photo and video on the same plane, it just seems like Google didn't really think about what they could do with video this time around at all. Now again, let me go back to my first thought in this video that I have not touched these phones at all, I've barely known anything about them leading up to the event, and there could be things that I've missed because, well, they didn't even say it in the event. So until I get my hands on the phone and actually see that the video capabilities have been enhanced in some sort of way, for now I'm just going off what they said on stage and the few things I've heard from fellow tech YouTubers, and so far, it doesn't sound like much. It would have been great to see those dual exposure settings for video recording, maybe 4K 60 on the rear and the front, and honestly anything that makes it seem like Google has added some of their computational photography to the videography side as well. That said, I'm probably going to still have a good time using the Pixel 4 as a video rig. I have in the past, and I'm sure that even if there aren't any enhancements, it's still at a good level and I'll be able to use it pretty effectively. But I wish that there was something to say about the video that is new on the Pixel 4. All right, so here's the final thing, and as usual, it has to do with the price. The price of the Pixel 4 line is not any more than that of the Pixel 3 line when they were first launched, and that's a good thing. However, you're still being asked to pay $1,000 for the top-end specifications, including 120 gigabytes of onboard storage. If it's the XL version, obviously, you're going to get a bigger screen and a bigger battery. The thing is that in Google's own Android tech space, there are so many things differentiating devices across the spectrum. Gaming phones, productivity phones, even fashion phones. And now the Google Pixel is still touting its one main thing, and that is the camera. Obviously, this is not counting, like I said, Google Assistant and Motion Sense, but you can lump those all together and you can probably make the decision for yourself if all of what makes the Pixel 4 different actually justifies that price. Like I said before, I'm a fan of Google Assistant already. Motion Sense will probably be useful in certain cases, and even if Google's priorities when it comes to the camera don't align with what I want out of my smartphone, I could probably find some ways of really using those features to some good effect. But that's when I pass the question off to all of you. Is everything that the Pixel 4 providing enough to justify the price that it has right now? So, is this enough for you to buy the Pixel 4 or to move from whatever phone you have now? Let me know in the comment sections down below, and I want to go ahead and call it on this video. These are just the 5 main thoughts that I had. A little bit in the negative, obviously. This is a top 5 complaints video regarding the Pixel 4. Credits go out to Jaime Rivera, obviously over at Pocket Now, my good old colleague and brother, and then David Imel over at Android Authority. He's always a homie as well. So thank you for letting me use some of your footage in this video while I'm in Japan and I'm looking at all the Pixel stuff happen from abroad. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Like I said, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, consider subscribing to my channel. And if you're watching this, maybe drop some thumbs up on here so I know that you want to see more top 5 complaint videos like this. And then let me know how that conversation is going, what your thoughts are in the comment sections down below. But from there, I'm going to go ahead and get back to all the work I'm doing here in Japan. And until my next video, I would just remind you to enjoy your tea, everybody.